Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonia Holtz. I'm your CFWC Communications Chairman. Welcome. We're so happy to have you today on Saturday. Our chairman today, our very special chairman that's speaking today is Stephanie Zukiki, and she is going to do project and ideas for arts and culture. Welcome, everyone. It's so happy to have you here. So I'm going to introduce Stephanie. Stephanie, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here on a Sunday, Saturday in rain-free California, although I'm sure all of us wish that wasn't exactly the case. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about arts and culture. So if you haven't looked at my page in the CFWC yearbook, arts and culture, it's got a picture of me from a long time ago on it. It has lists of some of the things that I took out of the GFWC yearbook. And this year's chairman listed some absolutely great ideas. And so talking about what Debbie said earlier about snooping around and looking for things, without all the newspaper coverage, we used to do everything to get ourselves in the paper. Now we don't do that. And we have kind of no way of getting our clubs and our activities out there unless we do social media. And I'm not so good about that, but we have some young people in the club that are. And one of the, whether you use, Facebook or Instagram or whatever, they're very good at it. But I think we need to highlight one of his suggestions, the GF suggestions, was to do your social media post in something that reflects your community. Like if you have a fountain, the thing that I would like to point out is using social media to publicize your events or your, whatever it is you're doing in the community. You're replanting this, or you're honoring this, or you're gonna have a little library in your clubhouse front yard or whatever. Do a publicity shot that you can post on media in an artsy area or a statue or something that really would draw people in, and they would know you're in their community and that's why you're doing it. So there are lots of suggestions. The current arts and culture articles in the yearbook, it's about 7 pages long, and it gives you lots of ideas on posting and getting your stuff out there, what good ideas to sponsor and all of that. Another thing I want to talk about is I don't know if you could see this, I belong to the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco. And you don't have to belong to find out what's going on, but I get the booklets because I'm a member. But you won't know what's going on in your community unless you look for it. Or I'm in a suburb of the San Francisco Bay Area, and you can bookmark the museums, galleries, art areas that you may be interested in, or your club women would be interested in. Like in the Bay Area, we have a beautiful historic garden area called Filoli, and they decorate for various holidays, and they have beautiful grounds, beautiful plants, wonderful artwork. Their Christmas decorations are unbelievable, but you're not going to know about it unless you find it, go into it, and schedule something fun art-wise for your members to do. So right now in San Francisco at the DeYoung or at the Legion of Honor, there's a Ramses exhibit which they've now been able to extend. And it's absolutely wonderful. And for those of you who watched KQED or PBS programming like I do, that Egyptian archaeologist was there signing autographs the day that I was there, and the art and the artifacts. And I love finding out that Ramses was married maybe 100 times, but he had 200 children. And I didn't know anything about that, but I thought that was quite amazing. But the art was absolutely, it was fabulous. And in San Francisco, they're having a big quilt exhibit by somebody that I have not seen before. Faith Reingold is having an exhibit of her quilts, and that is through November at the DeYoung. But my point is, if you don't look around and find out what's available, you won't be able to go to it. You won't know about it. So be snoopy, find it, and put it down and go to it. So the other thing that I wanted to mention to you is 2 art projects that you may or may not be interested in, but it's something that I do all the time. I don't know how many of you have seen me at the various area or board meetings or conventions, but I do a lot of bordering, crocheting of quilts, and our club does red, white, and blue quilts for the Veterans Hospital. We have a Martinez Veterans Hospital in town. And we got the idea, Doris got the idea from Project Lioness, you know, Lioness and Snoopy, and they do the quilts for kids and other stuff. But this is such an easy project to do. And you take, I can get all the information and I'll put it in quick bites, but you can go on the Project Lioness website. If you're looking for projects that involve quilts or bordering or crocheting like I do, you have to have a rotary cutter. You buy a slip stitch blade that cuts a little hole every so far apart. They still have them on their website. I saw them this morning. They're a little bit cheaper if you buy them on Amazon. I'll put the information in quick bites. The size that I prefer to use on a single crochet with standard thread. But you go around the quilt twice. It takes a couple of hours, and we make baby quilts for the county hospital. You make youth quilts, you make adult quilts for the VA. You could make quilts for the homeless, or you could tie the quilts. You do them double and you tie them. But there's lots of projects that you can do that people would love to get these items. But I will put it all on quick bites. And the other thing is I don't know how many of you were around when I was district president, but I still make my wonder coats. And I would be happy to have a workshop, or I would give you the instructions. I don't know if the pattern is still out there, but I make a coat out of, I probably have made 15 of them out of various fabric. I'm going to try this one on right now and show it to you. But if any of you are interested in it, it doesn't have any seams on the sleeves, or it's got a seam down the arm, and that's it. And then you attach, if you want, a different color piping and around the collar. So the one I'm going to try on right now is it's lined, and it's got the same fabric on the piping. I don't know if you could see this, but this is some safari fabric that I got in London, and it was already pieced together. So you can make it as long as you want. The pattern is adjustable for as big as you want. And you put a binding on the sleeve, and then you put a binding around the front. It goes right in the front. And then I lined this. So I can cut out, sew this in less than an hour. So I'd be happy to put on, quick bites. I'll find out how much it'll cost me to get the pattern duplicated and with postage and everything, but I'll put that on quick bites also. So that's kind of a brief rundown on what I have for you today. Are there any questions, or does anybody have any comment or question?
All right, we'll go ahead and ask people to ask questions or share what they're doing currently in their club or district. Debbie, you have a question?
I really just have a comment. When you were talking, Stephanie, about the woman who shows her quilts that she's done.
Yes.
You know, while we may not all have the opportunity to go see something like that, most of us probably go to our local county fairs. And when we can take pictures of some of the crafts, if you will, that the people display at the county fair, because I think in our county fair, we'll see quilts or we'll see bedspreads that they've made or Afghans. It would be kind of cool to take pictures of those things and share them with our members as art. Here are examples of art. I just think that would be a kind of a cool thing to do.
The other thing about that, and I think I've mentioned this before, with the COVID, we've gotten so used to doing stuff online, and there are lots of museums and galleries and a lot of places that do online viewing or online shows. So you may not have to actually fly to San Francisco, but this woman's quilts are phenomenal, and I'm definitely going to go to it. But she's at the Young, so if you type in San Francisco Fine Arts Museums, and you can look up anything that they've got going on. And you could order the catalog, or you could, maybe they have a 3-minute video or a complete program of the exhibit. So many places. You can go all over the world now and look at art.
Fantastic idea. Thank you, Stephanie. Our next comment or question comes from Terry. Terry?
Yes, hello. I guess I have a misunderstanding of the arts and culture project. I thought it was more like you get the community involved, or you get children involved or something like that in doing some sort of art project or something. I didn't realize that we could just go to an art exhibit or go to the fair, like Debbie said, and take pictures of quilts and present it. So I guess when you go to report that at the end of the year, then it would just, you're not necessarily reporting that you pulled the community into it, but it was just something that your club did. Am I correct in that?
Well, sort of. It's up to each club group operates in their own way. And so if you are in a rural area and you don't have small libraries, or you don't study different ethnic art or groups, you gear it to what your community wants to do. But in the list in the yearbooks, it's so varied. You can study or help with a library, with a theater group, with a band at your high school. It's so broad that you have to gear it towards your club or your community, what you want to do.
Okay.
You could take it anywhere you want to take it.
Okay. Thank you. That helps clarify it.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. Our next question comes from Gloria. Gloria?
I belong to Hill and Valley Club, and a few women made like a bedspread with little crochet that they put together. I want to send that to, where did you say I could send a picture? I'll take a picture. We're raffling it to the community for, like, you know, it comes with matching pillows, you know, to go on your bed, or, but they're all handmade, different fabrics that they put together with a crochet. So it's really beautiful.
So what about a picture of your members that made it in front of your Hill and Valley Clubhouse, and then announcing that raffle tickets for this quilt handmade by our members are so and so, whatever they are, and that the drawing will be held at our luncheon on such and such a date, and then post it on whatever social media that your club uses.
We don't have one yet. I tried to set up one for the Alameda district, but I'm gonna email and get help from our communications team.
So if you have any grandchildren available, that's practically what I have to have my kids, my grandkids help me do stuff. But if you know, maybe you still have, do you get the East Bay Times? You know, maybe they would post something for you. I don't know, but I would do a little research and find out who's doing that. But I would stand in front of something that's indicative of your community to advertise that this is going to happen. The other thing I could think of is take a picture, do a PDF flyer, and have all your members send it out to their friends and relatives to promote. You know, do an email to all of your members and whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that might work. But whatever we can do to put it out there and to be recognized in our own communities. Martinez has a beautiful park, and one of the longtime families in town, their daughter was in the Peace Corps, and she died in a plane crash. And they have a beautiful globe fountain out in this park. And I've often thought, boy, if you're going to advertise something for Martinez, stand in front of that globe, because it's such a neon sign about that this is a Martinez thing. You know, that's, I guess, the point I'm trying to help make.
Thank you. Those are excellent suggestions, Stephanie.
Excellent.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and that's why I love these rooms, is because Stephanie has such a broad reach, and so she has a lot of information to share. Terry, did you have a comment or a question?
Yes, I do. I have a question. Our club makes crafts like Christmas crafts or fall crafts and things like that. And then we sell them at, our community has what's called a lollipop fair, and it's put on by the Lakewood Chamber of Commerce. So we set up a booth and we sell those craft items. Now, is that considered under arts and culture?
Well, you're doing it as a fundraiser.
No, well, yes, we are, yes.
Well, but I think you just have to think of the specific purpose of what you're doing. You're doing crafts so that you're getting together with your members to visit, and you discuss the different items that you make and how to make them. And if your money, you know, where does your, if your money is part of it is going to support a community project or something that's regarding the arts, I don't know why that wouldn't be. You know, you could do a rummage sale and you're making money, but if you donate it all to your high school band, then, you know, you got to look at
I see. Okay.
what you're doing and what your intent is to do and your member intent. You know, you can enrich your members as well as enriching the community with what you do.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. I hope I answered that. Okay.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Fantastic, Terry. Thank you, Stephanie. The next question or comment comes from Debbie. Debbie. Oh, you're muted, love.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was going to suggest if you have a copy of the General Federation yearbook, that's the one you want to take a look at, because one of the things that it says in arts and culture is a community rich ideas for all ages. Set up a member craft table to sell art at a hometown farmers market or craft fair. Make sure there's also plenty of information on how to join the local club. So there are some great ideas of things that you can do that are, and I would agree with Stephanie, what you do with the money that you raise is something, but the point is you're creating art, you're sharing that art with the community, if you will, and also giving them information about your club. So take a look at the pages in the General Federation yearbook on arts and culture. That's a great source of information.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Wow. Here we go. Stephanie, what else, my friend?
I don't think I have anything else. I could go into more information about the quilt. I mean, the jacket.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into the coat because it really is fabulous. So let's just kind of go over what you did and how you did it. And
okay, so what I need, so I don't know how many of you actually sew, but I'm gonna try to show you with this little piece of paper here. So the way you fold the fabric is how you cut it out so that you don't have very many seams. So briefly, it takes 2 yards of fabric. Depends on how wide it is. If it's 42-inch fabric, you need 2 yards, but then you may want to lengthen the piece that does the border on the cuff. If you're using 54-inch fabric or decorator fabric, then you're going to have really long arms like I do on this one. But it's basically 2 yards, and then you need the fabric that's going to go in a strip, a 4-inch strip that goes all the way around your neck and down, and then around the sleeves. But if I can show you, so imagine this is a piece of fabric 2 yards long. So you fold it in half lengthwise. Then you fold it in half again, exactly in half. Okay. So now it's folded lengthways like this. So then you put the pattern on it, and the pattern, I'm gonna just draw this so you can see it. Then I'm gonna cut it out. So here's the pattern. This is the body of the jacket, and this is the sleeve. Okay, so now watch what I do. You gotta use your imagination here. Okay, so I've cut off the part that I don't need, which the pattern will show you. So when you open it up, you can see where the sleeve is going to be right here. So the front of the jacket, and I'll go into this if you want the pattern. So only the front of the jacket, you cut up the middle. I know you're going to think I'm crazy here. Okay, so now I cut out the neck. That's the neck where my finger is. Okay, so now watch this.
oh, wow. Oh my goodness,
Does
that
that
makes
look
it
like
so
a
easy.
jacket?
Oh, that's
Does that
amazing.
look like a jacket with the front right there? Here's the jacket front. So the only sewing you have to do is right under the arm and down the side on both sides, right? Then you're going to attach the binding however wide you want the sleeves to be on the sides. And then you do a binding that goes around the neck, this whole distance from the bottom around the neck and down again. And I cut it out, I press it, and I get it already. So here's my wonder coat. Does everybody get that?
Wow, that's fantastic.
I'm doing this as miniature so that you get to see it, but I would be happy to make copies of the pattern. It has all sizes on it. You can do it as long as you want, or as short as you want. And the sizes go up to an XXL, but those of us that are tall may want to make it a little bit longer or make it a little bit flowing. I have this jacket, denim, pieced together, quilt fabric, slinky fabric. I have 10 of them.
Wow.
And when I think, oh gee, I'd like to have a jacket that goes with that, it takes me an hour. In fact, I've been on a phone call and finished a jacket.
What?
So if you want to see this, I'd be happy to share it. And I'll show you how to do it, and I'll bring some of my samples. So, but it's really super easy. And it's called the Wonder Coat. And the woman that designed it, oh, this is like 30 years ago, for 35 years ago. I just fell in love with the pattern, and you can make it as heavy or as light or as whatever. So anyhow, I hope you understand how I did that, but that's how you don't do so many seams, because you cut it out of one folded lengthwise piece of fabric. That's it.
Does anyone go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions for her? It's phenomenal. Gloria, did you have a question?
It's kind of fun to do it. And once you know how to do it, I don't know if any of you remember when Cindy Saunders was our district president and she wore that recycled outfit that we made out of bags. And so the jacket she wore was my Wonder Coat. And I made it out of those recycle bags.
Oh, man. Okay, Gloria, what was your question, my friend?
My question, you lined it. So is the lining?
I did.
So lining is easy also to do.
Oh, you just cut out.
I sew, you know.
You cut out the same piece, the same size, and I stitched it around it, and then I did, and it's
turn. Okay.
Well, you have to hem the bottom of it, but
Yeah.
once you put the cuff on, and then you don't do anything with that. You just have to hem the bottom of it. But
Okay,
I'd be
thank you.
happy to do a workshop on it.
That's great project for our club, you know.
Yeah, it is fun, and you're local, so I'll come and show you.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Just give us a date and time. We'll all just land there that day.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, great. We'll invite you guys.
Road trip.
Okay.
We're
Okay,
just
a
in
question-
Hayward.
Yeah, right. A question or comment from Sheila. Sheila?
Yes, good morning, ladies. What we did was we had one of our members was a traveler, and she traveled all over, and she brought in a new member, and this member, she made jackets, and she made them from materials that she had collected from all over the world. And so what we did was we actually had a literary salon, and the literary salon was made up of this lady talking about her book, her travels, and demonstrating all the different jackets and materials in which she had made them from. It was very interesting, and we had a full house. I mean, we had more people flowing out the door that were interested in this because she was a very interesting author as well as creator of art. She was also an artist as well, you know, very well traveled. So that was a very interesting thing that that just came to my mind when you were talking about your jacket.
Well, you know, you can make this jacket out of, if we made it out of recycled bags, you could make it out of pieces of fabric from whatever. So this one's pieced together in odd sizes, but I bought it like that. But I've also stripped quilted pieces and then cut it out and maybe do a solid piece on one side and a pattern piece on the other. A quilter could put together, you know, a small lengthy quilt and fold it over and cut it out of this fabric. It would be beautiful. Any way that you can express yourself creativity wise, I think it just makes us feel good to create something and wear something we really love. You know, the colors or the fabric or where we bought the fabric or whatever. So a lot of joy and creativity. I 100% behind that.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to comment? Why don't we go ahead and put it in
Yvonne,
gallery? Go ahead.
Yvonne Cahill has her hand
Oh, I'm
raised.
so sorry. I didn't see that hand in the corner. Okay, Yvonne.
No, it's pretty dark. I was just going to say, I made one of these about, 10 years ago out of polar fleece as a robe.
Oh,
And it's cuddly and just, you know, quick to put on for early mornings if it's cold.
you could make this way longer, way shorter. The pattern I've found has always fit perfectly, no matter who I've made it for. And you could make it out of, I have one out of like a denim looking, because I wear jeans so much where I live. And I found this fabric and I thought 2 yards and I got this wonderful jacket. So you can make it out of anything. It's wonderful. Okay, well, I'll put together the patterns and I'll get that in quick bites.
How fun. Maybe we could do like a show and tell at some point and everyone can come back on and we can do a quick, have everybody show us what they made.
Okay.
All right, very good. Okay, Sandra, what would you like to share?
Hi, I have actually many years ago made a t-shirt based on the same pattern. So instead of cutting it down the center in the front, you just leave it as one big piece and you just have your side seam and your underarm.
Oh, and you wear it like a tunic?
Yeah, but it's a t-shirt, so it's a lot smaller. Closer in.
Oh, you could do that.
Like I said, many years ago and quite a few pounds lighter.
We are all on that journey, my friend. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording.